Hey everybody, how's it going? So we're gonna do my second silent impression video. Woohoo! Finally fucking did another one of these sons of bitches, even though I kept saying that I would keep doing these as I play new games, because I got another one that I should have done for Terra, the PS4 port, so... Anyway, let's move on to the actual main topic here. The topic of discussion is Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. Now... could be like a very polarizing thing. I don't know where people stand on when it comes to video games that are spin-offs of TV shows and animes and all this other shit. And in my opinion anyway, it seems like anime games are kind of hit or miss to begin with as it is. Like, they're obviously meant to appeal to the audience of the people who enjoyed those titles and all of that other junk. So it's either like way overplayed and overhyped and people try to sell like crazy on it because they will sell to those consumers, or, you know, some other kind of case. But in the case of this game anyway, I think it is fucking amazing so far. I absolutely think it was fucking amazing. If you couldn't already tell from now, like, yeah, obviously I am a fan of the Sword Art Online series. And I still haven't completed it, actually. I still got, like, fucking 2 episodes at the end of the series and all that other shit. But, point of the matter here is, I think it's fucking amazing, this game. So you basically, you make your character, right, and you enter into the Gun Gale Online second fucking arc of Sword Art Online, and you wind up stumbling into a tournament that you kind of get dragged into by your friend Koreha, and you wind up stumbling on an AI, which is supposed to be, like, incredibly fucking rare in the game. You get, like, a rare version of already a rare NPC that can follow you around, fight, and do a bunch of other fucking things for you in-game. And that's basically how the story starts off right there. You're supposedly pretty fucking good at video games and shit. Essentially the next Kirito. You're just, I guess, late to the party or some shit, but anyway, you're supposed to be, like, really good at games and stuff, and kind of very similar to him, or whatever the fucking case is right there. I don't know if they're trying to do a foil thing, but anyway, the game's good. On to the actual gameplay part of it, because frankly, I don't really care that much about the story. They do the typical anime thing at the beginning of it with anything. It's no Star Ocean, so it's good, but it's very dialogue heavy at the very beginning of it. They really try to like personify the characters and make you love them with like goofy dialogue and just like the typical anime shtick that they do, where people will just talk for a long time about things that ordinary human beings wouldn't spend more than about 5 or so minutes on the subject of, if even that. And they'll just keep talking about something for a while. Again, just typical anime shit. So if that's something that you're not into, that might drive you out of the game before it even starts. But when you finally do get to the gameplay of this game, if you can't already see from this right there, like, the gameplay is fucking awesome. It is fucking amazing. It feels exactly the way that you would think playing Gun Gale Online, essentially. You know, without the virtual reality part of it. But, you know, whatever. I'll let that part slip. But it is fucking outstanding. You have, like, your typical skills and stuff. You can use the magical trio. There are healers, there are tanks, there are DPSs, dexterity, agility stats, strength, etc. Luck influences things. There's drops for identifying items to be able to get gear. You move stats from one gear item to another one to make the one that you have already more powerful by spending memory chips to do so, which is, of course, done at Lisbeth, your personal blacksmith. If anybody was fucking surprised at that one who's seen the show, then shame on you. Angel does all of your item appraisals and all of that good shit. So all the characters do stick to what they were good at in the game, of course. So I assume it's supposed to be a spin-off. I don't think that this game is canon from it, if that is something that you're curious of. So it's kind of like its own little spin-off from the show, and they do whatever the hell that they want with it. So don't expect it to be like a continuation or a part of the actual Gun Gale Online arc that happens, that you insert yourself into or something like that. I'm not 100% sure where it's going to go from here. And I accidentally turned off the aim assist right there. Now it's back on. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good, man. The way that it moves, you roll around and all of this other shit. Like, the actual gunplay of this game feels fucking outstanding. And some of you might be curious as to why my accuracy is kind of shit with a lot of points here and there. Like, it's a shooter MMO. If anybody who has ever played a fucking RPG MMO game with shooter mechanics in it knows that it's not necessarily about, like, the accuracy, because it is still an RPG game. You're still doing damage to a health bar. There's that fucking term that I absolutely hate in RPG shooters, which is bullet sponges. Everything essentially is a bullet sponge in this game. Yes, deal with it. That's kind of how it works. That's the point of a shooter RPG game, is to dump bullets into it. It's more RPG than shooter, and that's how this game is definitely going to feel for you. But again, like, the movement feels great. There's a way to, like, actually get away from any attacks and be able to compensate with it with just raw skill, and that's something I can greatly appreciate. I was kind of afraid at the beginning of this game that it was just going to be something where, like, sometimes you're just going to fucking take damage and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. You can even command your party members to do very basic commands: focus on healing, move on you, hold positions, etc. So there is group commanding, and then of course we're going to go into that friends list thing that I absolutely fucking adore right there. So right now I have Yuki and Argo in my party. Area would be the NPC that you get at the beginning of the game, which you can customize that character just as much as your own, which is pretty cool. When you're in the game, you can't change your gender, but you can change everything else about the character and the way that they look. You can even change outfits and make them look spiffy or make them look goofy or whatever else. They even have the super expensive, like, random bathing suit items that you can run around with in the game just for the lol / fan service of it all, because why the hell not? But it's pretty fucking good with the friends list. So they have, like, all the main characters from the game as well, other characters and such. I think they even have an AI of Sachi from the original arc of Sword Art Online in here for one of the characters that you can have into your party, and then they all have their own separate abilities. You can't equip them or spec stats for them, but they do level up with you, and I assume that they get stronger through those level ups, which is good, and all of that good stuff. So you can pick any of those characters to help you out, and they all play differently, which is good. They all have their own, like, dialogue lines and shit where they'll talk amongst themselves and say some silly shit through you. Well, not really so much you. I don't know if your character talks, to be honest with you. I know that I'm definitely saying things in here, like enemy ahead and stuff, or grenade, but I don't think that your character engages in active conversations with the other characters. I think it's just the other three. But it's been a hell of a game. The most important thing about it is the fact that I can play, and when I was on recording, like, that 16 minutes of recording went by like that. I didn't even realize that I was fucking playing. I forgot I was playing the game for recording when I was doing it, because I got so damn into it. Like, just, it feels good. The movement feels good. You can fucking dash around a room, dodge, and shit like that. It feels like, kind of feels like the old Matrix games. Sorry, for PS2. Kind of feels like the old Enter the Matrix game. In a way, but with, like, a completely different fucking theme to it, though. You get what I'm saying. Like, it just has, like, that whole bullet time feel when you're running around and just running and gunning, and it just, they really captured the feel of this game extraordinarily well. So, I guess for pros, that would have to be it right there. Like, you know, fucking excellent gameplay. It feels like it feels like a Sword Art Online game, but it also feels like a game at the same exact time. Like, you know, they're not just trying to move with the whole fucking, cool, it's Sword Art Online and it's like a crappy bullshit game. Like, no, it's a really fucking good game. I can't say that everybody would enjoy it, but it is a solid game. As for the cons, you know, I didn't actually think about that one, though. I'm trying to think of some negatives off of the top of the head right here. Well, actually, I went into it, really. It's dialogue heavy at the beginning would be one of the main cons right there, so dialogue heavy as fuck, for sure, because they do the typical anime thing to try to get people to just do a lot of voice lines and stuff. It feels very visual novel-esque with certain cutscenes that you get throughout the game, which might not necessarily be a bad thing to some people, but I feel like that can turn off a lot of people that are here for just the gameplay and shit. So I do have to include that there. So there's that as well, which kind of ties into the first one anyway. And I feel like I kind of fight with the controls from time to time. The controls are good. I think it was more I was fighting with it because I was doing the video onto my computer through the capture card, and that was like a no-no right there. So I'd recommend that you have something that's like a good display for something like this game. Like, it takes a while to get really used to the movement system, the combat and stuff, and to be able to really turn that shit into your bitch. So yeah, that's really all that I have to say about it, honestly. Like, there's just not very many cons I can think about it that would make it otherwise just something that where you would not even really like the game to begin with, really. There's just not a whole lot that wasn't done well in here. That I don't know about the content yet, because, again, this is just a first impression video, so I don't have much to go off of for negatives. Other than maybe, I guess the PvP aspect is pretty cool. Like, there is online multiplayer and literal PvP or co-op with other people, but it's more so the random players that get strewn throughout the map. Sometimes you just won't even notice that they're there. I don't even know that they're there sometimes. They just pop up randomly, and they're intentionally supposed to be pretty fucking difficult. And until I got a shotgun, I didn't stand a fucking chance against those people. They just were there, I popped up into them, happened to be roaming in that area, and then I just wiped. But the game is also incredibly, like, forgiving about wiping. So I don't know where to go with that one beyond that point. So yeah, this is already going longer than it needed to be right here. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, just to wrap up that thought right there, the game is incredibly forgiving when it comes to, like, dying and shit, because it still gives you all of the rewards that you would have otherwise gotten if you just left before you died. If not less than that, because of the combat. So anyway, I will see you guys later. This is droning on like fucking crazy with this game. I'll see you later.